History is a comfortable lie we tell ourselves to sleep at night. We were told civilization began with the plow and the city-state, a slow crawl from the dirt toward the stars. But we were wrong. 12,000 years ago, before the invention of the wheel, the pot, or even bread, a ghost civilization carved mountains into precision-engineered monuments. They didn't just wake up. They emerged with a mastery we cannot explain. In 1994, Klaus Schmidt looked at a dusty hilltop in southeastern Turkey and realized the timeline of human progress was a shattered mirror. What he found wasn't a village, but a cathedral of stone. Conventional archaeology insists that hunter-gatherers were simple nomads wandering in search of calories. Yet at Göbekli Tepe, these primitives moved 50-ton megaliths with the grace of modern engineers. Where did the blueprint come from? The paradox is simple. You cannot build a skyscraper before you know how to build a hut. Yet Göbekli Tepe appears in the fossil record like a thunderclap, with no evolutionary predecessor in sight. To understand the scale, imagine finding a MacBook Pro buried inside a pharaoh's tomb. The site is 7,000 years older than Stonehenge and 6,000 years older than the Great Pyramids of Giza. It's a chronological impossibility. This isn't just about old rocks. It's about a radical shift in the human psyche. We were told that agriculture led to religion. Göbekli Tepe suggests that a terrifying, organized religion forced us into agriculture. Why would a group of nomads suddenly stop moving and dedicate decades to carving limestone predators? What did they see in the sky or in their minds that demanded such a monumental, back-breaking response from the void? Look closely at the pillars. They aren't just supports. They are stylized human beings. Anthropomorphic giants with long fingers wrapping around their bellies, wearing belts and loincloths made of fox skin, standing in eternal silence. These figures have no faces. It's as if the architects wanted to represent a concept of humanity that was universal, or perhaps something that had moved beyond the need for individual identity or biological recognition. The precision of the carvings is unsettling. Scorpions, lions, and spiders leap out from the rock in high relief. This wasn't scratched in. The stone was lowered around the image. This is subtractive sculpture on a massive scale. To achieve this, the workers needed specialized tools, a massive surplus of food, and a hierarchy of command. But there are no hearths, no burials, and no water sources nearby. It was a factory of the soul. If they weren't living here, where were they coming from? Some experts suggest people traveled hundreds of miles to witness the rites performed here. This was the first cathedral on a hill, a beacon for the Neolithic. Stop. Forget everything you know about cavemen. The people who built this were masters of geometry. If we find one Göbekli Tepe, how many more are hidden beneath the sands of the Fertile Crescent, waiting to speak? Recent architectural analysis has revealed a shocking secret hidden in the layout of the three main enclosures. When you connect the center points of enclosures B, C, and D, they form a perfect equilateral triangle. This implies a master plan. The builders weren't just adding circles as they went. They mapped out the entire complex before the first stone was ever quarried. This requires a level of abstract thinking and surveying. We are looking at the birth of mathematics thousands of years before the Greeks. The ancient future isn't a sci-fi trope, it's a historical reality. These people were operating with a mental hardware we didn't think existed. Why the obsession with the T-shape? Some theorists believe it represents the gate of the heavens, a threshold between the physical world and the void, a place where the hunter met the gods of the stars. We are peeling back the layers of a forgotten epoch. If you want to join us as we dive deeper into the anomalies that challenge our reality, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Let's continue. Perhaps the strangest thing about Göbekli Tepe isn't how it was built, but how it ended. Around 8000 BCE, the site was intentionally and systematically buried, not by a natural disaster, but by human hands. They didn't just abandon it, they entombed it. It was a time capsule. Why hide your greatest achievement? Were they protecting it from an impending cataclysm, or were they trying to imprison something within the stone? By burying the site, they preserved it perfectly for 10,000 years. If they had left it exposed, the limestone would have weathered away into nothing. It's as if they knew we would eventually find it. This act of backfilling required almost as much labor as the construction itself. It was a ritualistic suicide of a culture. They walked away from their gods and descended into the long, dark night of prehistory. Some researchers, like Graham Hancock, suggest the site is a memorial to a global disaster. The Vulture Stone, or Pillar 43, is thought to be a celestial map of the sky during the Younger Dryas impact. If this theory holds, Göbekli Tepe was a warning, a library of stone meant to tell the survivors of a comet strike how to restart civilization. It was a bridge across the apocalypse, built by the last masters. This explains the sudden jump-start of agriculture nearby. The Karaca Dağ Mountains, the site of the world's first domesticated wheat, are just a few miles away. The survivors were teaching us how to survive. As we excavate more sites like Karahan Tepe and Cyberk, the mystery only deepens. We are finding a network of these temples of the dead across the Harran Plains. It was an entire lost world. We are the children of an amnesic race. We look at these stones and see primitives, but perhaps we should be looking at them as our superiors, people who understood the cycles of time better than we do. The Göbekli Tepe Paradox remains. We woke up 6,000 years earlier than we thought, but the real question isn't how they built it. The real question is, what did they know that we have forgotten? As the dust settles on the hills of Anatolia, the stones remain silent. They are the sentinels of a lost era, watching us, waiting for us to finally decode the message they died to protect. The paradox is our inheritance. It is the proof that our history is not a straight line, but a series of peaks and valleys. We are standing on the shoulders of giants we don't even remember. Look into the shadows of the past. The truth is waiting there, carved in limestone, buried in the dirt, and written in the stars. The architects of the void are calling us home.